You ready to get down to business and do exactly what I tell you to do?
Congratulations. You got your first product sales meeting. Now what? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it. Welcome back, everybody. Duane Thompson, your food product entrepreneur's mentor, back again. Today, we're going to talk about something special. But first, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell button so that you are made aware of those new videos when they come out every Tuesday. So today, we continue our series talking about selling your product to the United States of America federal government. We're going to be discussing what you should be talking about in your meeting with your contracting officer or the product procurement officer for the federal government. There's another marketing tool that you're going to need during your meeting with your buyer. The name of the tool is called a product grocery deck. A product grocery deck. Now, this product marketing tool is mostly utilized by brokers and distributors, and buyers are very familiar with them. Now, as food product developers and food manufacturers, we're not always privy to know what goes on with the buying process. And this is one of the reasons why I suggest that you should always attend your buying meetings whenever possible. So, what is a grocery deck? A grocery deck is simply a sales presentation that is well put together for the buyer. Simply a presentation binder of your product for the buyer's benefit. Now, there's some details that need to go into this presentation that the buyer is going to specifically be looking for. Now, we're going to take a look at what those specific items are. I'm going to take you live into my computer so you can actually see what a real grocery deck looks like. We're going to be breaking down the various components of a grocery deck. I'm going to take you into my computer and show you a live version of a grocery deck so you'll understand exactly what you'll need to present to your buyer during your meeting. Okay, let's go. Here are the components of a grocery deck. So the first page should just be an introduction page. This is just something to open up your product. You want to talk about your brand. You want to talk about your company. You want to talk about, what items that you're going to be talking about and you're going to be sharing in this meeting. These are the items that you're expecting to sell to your buyer. So you want to make sure that you just come right out with it and say, here are the items that I am offering to you today. Okay, the next page should just basically give your brand and logo, detailed information, ingredients, and that type of thing. Why is this important? It's important because at some point in time, your buyer is going to pick this information back up and they're going to do some research. They're going to research on the internet. They're going to research to see if your products, what people are saying about your products. You're going to see, other places that your products are being represented. So it's very important that you try to give as much information in this grocery deck as possible. Okay, next, what is different about your product than all the other products that's on the market as well? So you want to take time in this area and just discuss why your product is different. What problems does your product solve? You want to make sure that USP, unique selling proposition, is favorable and it appeals to a group of people. Because remember, your buyer is looking at this product from the standpoint of other retail buyers. They're going to want to put products into their store that they know that their customers are going to buy. So make sure that you always keep your end consumer or customer in mind as you're describing your products to your buyers. What does your packaging look like? Is it going to even fit on the shelf? How does it come? So you want to make sure that you give some highlights on basically how your product looks and the footprint of it. So you talk about basically it's our product comes in a six count boxes. It's easy to set up. This comes in displays jars. We have a picture of the product here so you can actually see it. Then we have different attributes here. They're going to want to know how the product is going to come. So if they're stocking it or they're using their people to stock it, they're going to want to know how they should set the shelves up in order to receive the product. So this is an important thing as well to talk about during the meeting. Now, you definitely want to talk about the features and the benefits. It's going to be going into a retail environment. You want to talk about some of the items that make it positive. You want to talk about the incremental sales, just other areas here that it gives your product attributes. How it's packed, give some type of information about is it right for the market Have you done your research in the market? How is your competitors packed? Appeal that it's going to have to its customers. At the end of the day, it's all about the customers. The buyers want to know they're buying something their customers want. That's the bottom line. A lot of manufacturers, especially in the food product world, they can manufacture great products. They have great product development, but they don't talk about how the product is going to be supported. So just because you can get a product into the market doesn't mean it's going to sell. If people don't know anything about you, they're not going to pick up your product. So you want to talk about how you, as the product developer or manufacturer, is going to support your product. Talk about how you're going to advertise or how you're going to do in-store demos. Just tell the buyer, give the buyer some type of feel that you're aware that your product needs to be supported while it's in the market. This is a very, very important point here, and you want to take a few minutes here to describe. And 9 times out of 10, when you're in these meetings, this is the area where your buyers want to stop and ask you some questions, because they're going to want to know definitely from your lips how you expect to support your product wise in this store. The last thing they want to do is to bring your product in and then don't see you again. Now, you want to also list out your nutritional facts. This is important as well, because again, the buyers are looking at your product from the standpoint of their customers. So they're going to want to know, are you aware? Do you have all the necessary documentations on your product? What's the appeal of your product to their customers? All right. So what I've done here is we've blown up the nutritional facts of each product. And then down at the bottom, I actually took a snapshot of what the nutritional facts look like on the label with the UPC codes. Now, the third most important area is pricing. Do some homework before your meeting in this area. Now, you want to make sure you have a SRP, suggested retail pricing, put here on your product. And give a range. Give a range from, if your product is selling at $6, if it's going from $5.89 to $6, put it here so that your buyer can start thinking in terms of how much this product is going to sell for. So they're going to be looking and say, okay, does this product fit a category? And if it fits that category, does that pricing fit within that category? Is it a regular grocery pricing? Is it a gourmet pricing? They're going to want to know. So as they're looking at this pricing, they're going to start thinking on those terms. That's why it's very important that you leave this area for last, because you don't want your buyer thinking about pricing while you're trying to talk about marketing or how you're going to support the product. They're going to tune out on you. But make sure that you at least leave this for towards the end to start discussing pricing. It's going to drive a lot of questions. And this, again, the bulk of your meeting, once you get to this section, is going to be talking about pricing, how you come to it. Do you have any demographics on it? Do you have any specific sales data that you can show the buyer? They're going to ask you all kinds of questions. And then don't be afraid to tell them, hey, listen, I have that information, or I can get you that information. I just don't have it here. Because this grocery deck is designed to generate questions. And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to have questions, and you want to be able to follow up with questions later. This gives you a reason to be able to contact that buyer at a different date so that you can continue the sales process.
Okay, so that's all the information that you're going to want to discuss with your buyer during your product presentation meeting. Just one last word of caution. Remember, keep your meeting short, sweet, and to the point. The last thing you want to do is bore your buyer. So remember, keep it professional. They'll appreciate it. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. And as always, I look forward to using this platform to shorten your learning curve. I'll see you next week.